directed by Denzel Washington, and it also stars Denzel Washington and Viola Davis, and it centers around this family of black poor people who have a very abusive father in this family, who is Denzel Washington. The guy's an alcoholic, he's had a really rough past, and the movie basically explores how he sort of goes even more crazy as the movie goes on. He kind of goes a little bit insane, and it basically explores the troubles that this family goes through. The family goes through a lot of drama and issues in this movie, and the film basically explores that. That's basically what this movie is. A movie that's basically just showing the everyday lives of this family. So guys, Fences is a movie, when I saw the trailers, I thought looked really good. I saw the trailers and I thought the movie looked very good. I was a little bit skeptical because I thought it might be a little bit of an Oscar baity movie. Like, it actually wouldn't be great, it would just be one of those Oscar bait movies that were kind of boring. But I have to say, I actually really liked Fences. I thought this movie was very well made, it was very good, and I'm very much impressed with how Denzel Washington directed this film. The best thing about Fences is easily Denzel Washington. He not only stars in this movie, but he also directs it, which is crazy because the directing in this movie is so good. This movie feels like a play, because it is a play. A lot of people, when this movie was made, said this movie was unfilmable because it is based off a play, and it's basically a lot of shots, still shots of people doing dialogue scenes. But the way that Denzel Washington did it does feel like a play, but it was done so well. I like a lot of plays, I enjoy plays, so this movie basically did feel like a play, and I really enjoyed that aspect of the movie. I felt like Denzel Washington did a very good job converting this movie from play to screen. I felt like he did a very good job because that's not an easy task to do. I loved him as an actor in this movie. Denzel Washington gives one of the best performances I've seen all year. I think this guy will probably get nominated for Best Actor. He definitely is one of the best performances I've seen all year, and I will be surprised if he's not nominated for this movie. This movie definitely does seem like a movie that the Oscars will be all over, and I'm kind of fine with that because this movie is very good and I feel like it does deserve some praise for what it's doing. At first he seems like a nice guy who's poor and goes through a lot of struggles, but then as the movie goes on, you hear a lot of horrible things about this guy. He does a lot of terrible things. He's an alcoholic, he abuses his son, he's not very nice to his wife, he's not a very good person, but he sort of explains why he is the way he is. He talks about why he is the way he is because his past is so messed up. And you can kind of understand the guy. He is, in a way, the antagonist of this movie, but it also centers around him. This movie is the psychological battle with his brain of him slowly going insane. This movie is basically about this crazy old man that's been through a lot of hardships, and he basically is the antagonist in the movie, but it centers around him at the same time. He's not a very likable character, but you can understand where he's coming from, and Denzel Washington in this movie is terrific. But let's not let that performance overshadow Viola Davis in this movie. She is terrific as Denzel Washington's wife in this movie. She's great, she does a lot of really good dramatic scenes. She was really, really good in this movie, and I think she's definitely going to be nominated for Best Actress as well, or Best Supporting Actress rather. And one of the most effective things about Fences that bothered me the most was the son character, because Denzel Washington is such a jerk to this son character, and that was one of the things that affected me the most in this movie. And it would have been bad if the son wasn't a good actor in this film, if the son didn't do a good job, but the son actor in this movie was actually really, really good, and I really bought into their relationship. It was a very harsh part of this movie. Fences is not a movie I could see myself watching several times, because this movie is really depressing. It's a very depressing, harsh movie. This is a movie that's not for the faint of heart. This is a movie that could get you really sad, and it's one of those movies that when you're done watching it, the wind is going to be taken out of you because of these characters that have gone through so many hardships, and you see these hardships firsthand while you watch these scenes. And the fact that while you're watching the movie, it's directed like you're actually there. So that makes all the intense stuff in this movie even more effective. The movie is very intense because you care about this family, and Denzel Washington's presence in this movie gives you a presence of unease. It makes you feel not good inside, and there were several points in this movie where I felt so uneasy inside, which is really what I felt like they were going for. I thought they did a very good job with that. The movie is very slow, and that is actually one of my problems with the movie. I felt like the movie was a little bit too overlong. I felt like this movie could have been shaved off a little bit. There was a little bit of scenes that felt a little bit like filler, but it kind of needed to be slow for this movie to make sense. It kind of needed to be a slow film, but it works mostly, but I just felt like there could have been a little bit of time shaved off. I felt like a little bit of the filler could have been cut out. But overall, it is a slow movie. I feel like this movie may be pretty polarizing to audiences, because this is a movie that's only for certain types of audiences, because this mainly is a talking film. This movie is all dialogue scenes. It's all slow dialogue scenes, and this movie may not be for everyone, but for me, I actually really enjoyed it because it was a very well-made film. I already sort of explained my problems with this movie. I felt like it was overly long a little bit. I felt like there was a little bit too much filler, and also I wouldn't see myself watching this again because it's basically bereft of all hope. This movie is constantly depressing and harsh, and I realized it was kind of going for that. It was supposed to be that, but for me, I just feel like I wouldn't watch this movie again, and it wouldn't be one of my favorites of the year, but overall, it is a very well-made movie, and I'm gonna give Fences an A-. I don't know if I'd recommend seeing Fences because it is a movie that's not for everyone. This movie is going to be very polarizing to audiences, but if you're into film, if you're into really well-made directing and really good acting and really good drama, I'd say see this movie because I really dug it, and I think you might too if you like all that stuff. So yay. So I'm going to have my best list very soon following my worst list. I'm going to have the best list first, so look forward to that. I'm so excited to making those lists. I've been so excited to make those for like a year now, and I will have that coming soon. Look out for that, and I will see you next time. Bye-bye.